Join me today. We're going to be choosing the seeds I'm growing in 2026. If you have some time to kill or you just want to spend a bit more time with me going through these beautiful chilies, I will be putting out a longer version of this video over on my second channel, and I'll leave a link for that down below in the description. It's time for the 10 chilies I am most excited to grow in 2026. Number 10, this is one I grew this year, and the reason it's on the list is because it was so striking. When I walked into ChilliChump and I saw this plant for the first time when it had started putting out pods, it was just so striking. And that is the vampire chili. It is gorgeous. It starts off with black chilies, well, as near to black as you can get, bullet shaped, quite large, and they start ripening up and they come through with some very bright red. Absolutely stunning. And they don't taste too bad either. Think about the top 10 that you're excited to grow in 2026 and put them in a comment down below. Number 9, just because of how useful it is, the Kashmiri mirch. It is so useful, versatile. It is such a flavorful chili. If you make curries, you've got to have this chili. It adds a ton of flavor. It's got a little bit of spice to it, and it just grows so fantastically. This year, you've outdone yourself. This is just a small section of seeds and goodies that you guys have sent me, and yeah, I cannot wait to go through all of them and make some choices, but you do make life hard for me, man. No, I really shouldn't complain. It's incredible, and there's definitely some varieties in here that I am super excited. I actually reached out to my audience, my patrons and YouTube members, and asked if they had a certain variety, and a few of you came through, so thank you so much. We'll talk about what that is a little bit later. That's probably my number one variety that I'm most excited to grow this year, and we'll get to that a little bit later. So I have to go through some of those. Another bucket of them over here. So I've still got some seeds from probably my first or second season stuff. Well, there's a bunch more. A lot of the chocolate ricotta manzano. So I love growing the capsicum pubescens varieties, the ones with the black seeds. They're just a lovely plant to grow. They're very, very sweet. They've got a ton of heat. They're deceptively hot because they are so sweet. They're so juicy and they smell amazing. This is what I was using last year, well, up until the end of last year. I've actually switched out. I'm no longer using these little containers. The reason I went with these, firstly, they're glass. They have lovely screw tops, so they are airtight. The main reason is they are dark colored, so you're not going to allow a lot of light in. Listen, it's not going to make a difference. Your seeds aren't going to suddenly become unviable if you let light get to them, but they're going to last a lot longer if you're able to keep them in the dark. And you can do that a few different ways. I just wanted to do it this way. I think the majority of these I will be growing because they are specifically kept in these for that purpose. You know, for example, this one over here. This is a cross of mine. It's a Scorpion chocolate cross with a 7-pot Primo, and it is absolutely stunning. I think this one is at F5 at the moment. So not ready for prime time, not ready for the seed store, but we'll be continuing them on this year. Number 6. It's one of the core ingredients of one of my favorite dishes to make, especially at this time of year, and that is the kimchi pepper or the gochugaru. I grew quite a few in 2025. But I think I'm going to grow even more in 2026 because I want to make a ton more kimchi. So let's talk about the ChilliChump seed kit. The 6 this year are the CC Fushimi, the kimchi pepper. When I do release my video on making kimchi, which is coming very soon, I use my kimchi pepper, and I'm so pleased. You guys are going to love them as well. Then we have the Chinnezecca Rinselhout, the Ricotta Manzano, then the CC Chonky Cayenne. And then the last one on here is the Warthog, and this is from my monster plant. It was an absolute beast of a plant. It grew so well. It was so healthy and ridiculously hot. But that's what I'm going to be using this year for our big and tall competition, or our big competition. If you weren't able to get a ChilliChump seed kit, there are still some available in the store, I believe, but I do have quite a few of the Warthogs alone. I actually used the majority of my pods for seeds this year because I knew you guys were going to want to get hold of them instead of me using them for my sauce. I did use some for my sauce. Don't worry, there's a sauce on the go at the moment, fermenting away. Number 5. It's a classic. It's one of my favorites, and I'm still trying to nail down a good example of one. I mean, I've got a good example. I want a great example. I want one that's going to make me think back to when I first started growing chilies properly, and that is the butjalokia or the ghost pepper. I'll probably be growing about 3 or 4 different varieties. I'll also be growing the one that I've been growing for a while now that's in the seed store. So we'll be able to compare the 3 or 4 that I'm going to be growing. This is from Baxter. Thank you, Baxter. It's Butcholokia seeds. So Baxter tells me that he was out in the region where these are from and he managed to bring seeds back. I'm interested to see how they turn out. I'll start a few of them this year. We'll see how they get on. This was the original Super Hot, the Butcholokia. It was the first one that officially, according to Guinness World Records, went over 1 million Scoville. The next one up is also a very tasty one. We had a trip out in Thailand and I absolutely love Thai food. And we have a fantastic example of a Thai chili. Well, at least I hope so. That's why I'm excited about this one. I'm going to grow it out this year. Got some great seeds. And I'm hoping it's going to be the exact same phenotype, the same example that I was able to get the seeds from. This is a bit of a nemesis of mine. The Galapagos. I've tried growing these a few times. I've managed to get them to germinate once or twice, but then they don't really go anywhere, not very healthy. I'm going to try one last time this year, and this is from Alex Ward, again, one of my patrons. Thank you, Alex, so much for sending these across. It's a wild variety. They can take a month, maybe more, to germinate. So I'm going to have to think about a bit of a different strategy for germinating these, not using my normal process. Number 3, this is an old favorite. I made a video checking out Chilli's video on this one, and I had the question posed, is this the best tasting chili out there? It's the Antep Ají Dolma. They are so tasty. They look like bell peppers, so look like sweet peppers. They're quite large. They have a nice shape to them, but they taste like apples. It's like biting into a nice fresh crunchy apple. It's delicious. These do have a little bit of heat, but very subtle. Not drastic, but it can surprise you if you're not used to it. Do I dare even say this? I'm going to try and reduce the number of chilies I'm growing this year. Yes, it's the same thing I say every year, but we're really going to try this year. And that's because when it gets to July, August, the greenhouses are nearly impossible to walk through. And this year I really created a problem for myself. It was so much like a jungle that it really didn't allow a lot of air through. Now I have got a new plan for my airflow, so that'll help things out. But still, when your plants are too tightly packed together and there's not enough airflow getting through, then you're going to get things growing, funky things growing. Plants are going to get unhealthy. You got to consider these plants are breathing through their leaves. If you don't have that airflow going through, then the transpiration that happens, the breathing that happens through the leaves can't happen effectively, and you're going to get an unhealthy plant. So just keep that in mind. It's as tempting as it is every single year to grow as many as I possibly can. I have to be somewhat cautious with it because, yeah, it's just going to end up with unhealthy plants and get very upset at the end of the year. Number 2. This has been one of my favorite chilies to grow in 2025, and that's the Warthogs. It's not my favorite. I mean, from the perspective of taste and heat, it scared the living hell out of me. It was so hot. It's the first time in a very long time that I was very close to panicking because the heat just kept on building. It wasn't subsiding. It's a scary chili, but the plant is beautiful. Massive plant. I have overwintered it. I might have done it a little too late, so there's a chance that it doesn't survive. I've got that sitting inside my potting shed, and we'll go check on that so when we do the seed starting next week. Make sure you're getting yourself set up on Seedsio. If you don't know what Seedsio is, it's what I use to track all my plants. So there you go. And it just makes it so easy to keep control of all these things. There's a little bit of setup at the beginning of the season. Honestly, I get a bit of a buzz about doing that. So go check it out, seedsio.com, seedsio.com, if you haven't already. And if you have, make sure you get yourself set up because it's that time of the year where you get to plan these things out. So these are the black crystal. So I did start them last year. So they germinated quickly. So again, you can track how quickly things germinate and that sort of thing there. And then number 1. What is number 1? This is the fried chicken chili. So it was very popular last year. The fried chicken chili, the whole purpose behind it is that it's a really gnarly, bumpy looking pod. It looks like a piece of fried chicken. Quite a few out there, quite a few seed vendors are selling a really strange looking phenotype that it's kind of smooth. It looks more like, because it's yellow, it looks like a 7-pot brain strain maybe, a little bit gnarly, but nothing like the actual fried chicken. So I've got I got a few people sending me in some fried chicken, some that they've grown last year, and so they've harvested seeds from it. Some from some of the original seed vendors out in the US, because I couldn't order it direct to the UK. So thank you to all of you that did this. Tom Scales sent me, I think it was the first one to arrive, so it's the only reason I'm calling him out, but I got some from quite a few people. There we have the fried chicken. But yeah, really looking forward to that. Excited for that one. I did also order a fried chicken from Red Dragon, and it's going to be interesting to see. This is called Kevin's Fried Chicken. So we'll see how this one goes. We'll see if it looks like it should. But yeah, we'll compare that through the season. You'll see that through the year. But those are my top 10. Thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing you on the next video, and I hope that 2026 is an amazing year for you and your family. Until the next one, stay spicy.